How long have you been trying to trade now? 6 months, a year, 3 years? Be honest with yourself. How many YouTube videos have you watched? How many strategies have you tested? How many indicators have you added to a chart? And how much closer are you really at the end of the day? And I'm not talking to the trader who went all in. I'm talking to the one who never fully committed. The one who says they want freedom but still treats this like a hobby. The ones who has every excuse ready. I'm busy. Well, my kid's this, my kid's that. The market's weird. I just need the right setup. I'll take it seriously next month. You don't have a strategy problem. You have a commitment problem. And if I had to start over in 2026 with whatever amount of money, let's just say 10 grand, I wouldn't make the same mistake you're making right now. Here's exactly what I would do. So the first thing I would do, it's not place a trade. I would delete almost everything off my chart. Look at your screen right now. How many indicators are on it? How many oscillators? How many signals? How many colored lines crossing each other? RSI, MACD, Stokes, VWAP bands, custom scripts, Discord signals, Twitter guys, some guy's secret EMA combo. You've got so much noise on your screen that you can't even see price anymore. And you don't need all that. You think more tools equals more edge, and it doesn't. It's actually the opposite. It just equals more confusion. If I started over, my chart would have almost nothing on it. Price, high time frame levels, that's it. Weekly highs, lows, daily highs, lows, session highs, lows, clean. Because that's where liquidity sits. That's where decisions are made. And that's where you need to get in. You need to get in where a decision is being made on the chart. That's where traders get trapped. And I'm living proof. You don't need the circus. The guys in Discord are proof. Bobby, Brandon, Brian, and others. They're not stacking 15 indicators. They're not strategy hopping every single month. They're executing the same framework over and over and over again, and it compounds. You don't have a strategy problem. You have a clutter problem. You keep adding instead of refining it. You keep searching instead of mastering. You keep consuming instead of executing. If I had to start over, my screen would be simpler. My rules would be stricter. My execution would get slower and it would become more boring because simplicity scales. Noise doesn't. You can't scale noise. You can scale it in terms of negative P&L. But when you strip everything down, you remove your excuses. You can't blame the indicator, the signal, or the system anymore. It's just you and price and your discipline. And that's uncomfortable. But that's where progress starts, and you got to start somewhere. Now, I did not start this way. I didn't. I started with throwing a bunch of shit at my screen. I literally have paid indicators. I'll show you that I have paid indicators. These are indicators that I've probably paid 6 or 7 grand for. They're lifetime subscriptions that I paid years and years and years and years ago. I've been where you're at, and I was able to conquer that demon of thinking that it was some indicator that I was missing. And I'm here to tell you that it's not, and it's not for anybody. And look, the other day, I know I've mentioned this story a few times now because there's a good lesson in here. The other day on stream, someone called me a trendline robot like it was a diss. It's not. He's right. He's 100% right. I am a robot. And every single consistently profitable trader that I know is too. And let's be honest, you know who isn't a robot? The trader with some crazy quantum neural liquidity oscillator Pro Max 3.0. The guy running a triple Fibonacci harmonic RSI diversion strategy. The dude with 14 indicators layered on top of each other trying to catch the perfect reversal candle. They're not robots. They're emotional, reactive, constantly adjusting, constantly searching, and constantly losing, baby. You know what a robot does? These high frequency trading algorithms that these MIT grads program at like Jane Street, it executes the same way every time. It does what it's told every single time, without ego, without excitement, without revenge, without improvising because it's bored. That ain't weakness, that's edge. And if my system says liquidity taken, trap traders confirmed off of one of my key levels, context is right, time window valid, I go long or short depending on the direction of my trade, period. I take it. And if it doesn't, I don't. That's it. There's no drama, no prediction. We're not in a prediction business. If you think you need to guess or predict where price goes next, you're doing trading wrong. And this isn't about this one feels different. Most traders never become consistent, right? 90 to 95% of traders fail because they refuse to become mechanical. They want creativity, baby. They want excitement. They want to feel smart. They want to catch the top. They want to predict a breakout, but they don't want to execute a repeatable framework 400 times because that sounds boring. But boring compounds. And here's the irony. The guy calling me a robot, the loudmouth and on stream, what's he doing right now? He's probably back testing a new strategy this week, tweaking his indicators again, blaming market conditions again, starting over for the 5th time this year. Meanwhile, I'm just doing the same thing I did yesterday. I'm doing the same thing I did the day before that and the month before. because repetition builds equity. Now let's bring it back a little bit here, right? Look, being a robot is easy when you feel good, right? It's hard when you're down on the day, when you miss the move, when your plan didn't trigger, and when Twitter is screaming or your friend just caught a 10-hour trade, right? That's when discipline breaks. That's when structure matters. That's when accountability matters, because when you're left alone, most traders stop being robots the moment it's inconvenient. Period. You don't need another creative strategy. You need to become mechanical, and most of you will not do that without structure. You're not going to do it. Let's be honest, nothing I said is revolutionary. As a matter of fact, it's in all these books back here, going all the way back to the 20s. It's nothing I said is revolutionary. You've heard simplify before. You've heard risk management before. You've heard be disciplined before. So why the fuck aren't you consistent? Because knowledge isn't the problem, because you know these things. We've known these things since candles were invented in Japan all those years ago by a rice farmer. And execution breaks down when no one was watching. Execution's the problem. When you're alone, you bend your rules. You size up emotionally. You justify bad trades. You convince yourself a freaking shitty trade, a shitty B or C setup is close enough. You overtrade because you're freaking bored. You revenge trade because you're frustrated. And nobody calls you out. It's just you in your head. So the behavior continues. That's the real leak. It ain't your strategy, baby. It's your lack of fucking accountability. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of you don't need a new system. You need someone to look at your trade and say, what the hell are you doing? That's not A+. Why'd you take that? Why are you trading outside of your window? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Why are you up 2% and then let the trade roll over on you? That friction saves you money. That friction saves you months. That friction saves you years. Trial and error in trading is expensive. Every blown account, every strategy switch, every 6-month reset, that's tuition. And some of you have been paying that shit for years. Mentorship doesn't guarantee profits. I never guarantee profits, but I guarantee compression. Compression of time, mistakes, and compression of wandering. If I had to start over in 2026 with 10 grand, I would not waste 2 years proving I can do it alone. I would pick one framework, trade one window, submit every single trade that hits the criteria, review weekly, cut size when I break rules, and be forced to follow structure. Not because I'm weak, because I want to actually do this and get better and accelerate. Athletes have coaches, fighters have trainers, high performers have feedback loops. Do you guys know, and you can Google this, that these hedge funds and all these big trading houses, they have behavioral psychologists on the freaking payroll? But traders think they're supposed to figure it out alone. It doesn't make sense. That's ego, and ego's expensive, right? You can keep watching videos, you can keep experimenting, you can keep saying next month I'll take it seriously, or you can fucking train. Not casually, not emotionally, but with structure. That's the difference between dabbling and building an edge. And at the end of the day, that's all you've been doing lately is just dabbling, right? Be honest. Look, trading's not hard. Your whole job as a trader is to find a high probability area to execute a trade, up or down. Then you only have 3 options for an entry model: break, bounce, or sweep. Why are you overcomplicating it? Find an area where people get in and out of the market, high probability, and then it's break, bounce, or sweep. You have 3 options. Pick one and just focus on the one. You understand what I'm saying? I hope you do. Because fuck everything else, it's noise. And then execute it the same way today, the same way tomorrow, the same way the next day. Collect data, journal your trades, which I know most of you ain't doing. Because you're a hobbyist. It's time to step it up. Put your big boy pants on. Quit being a little bitch. Be a man. Let's go. All right, let's zoom out for a second. You've been watching. You've been consuming, testing, tweaking, restarting. Some of you guys for probably years. Others maybe brand new. Everyone's at a different spot. You know, my guess is your chart's cluttered. Your rules are flexible. Your discipline depends on your mood when it's supposed to be the other way around. And you're wondering why it's not compounding, why you're just spitting your tires. I stripped my chart down. I became mechanical. I became what the heck I called a robot, and it works. Not because I'm special, not because I found out some magic system or paid for some magic indicator, some magic AI, you know, this, that, because I just removed the noise. Everyone's constantly adding shit to their chart. I'm just removing it. Because when I remove the noise and I put structure on execution, that's it. And here's the truth most people won't tell you. There is a profitable trader inside of you. There was in me all those years ago, and I suffered for like 2 years. I suffered and lost. There's a profitable trader inside you. It's not the emotional one. It's not the impulsive one, not the dopamine addict refreshing the 1 minute chart. The disciplined one, the patient one, the one who can execute a setup for a year straight. But that version of you doesn't come out in isolation. It comes out under structure, under accountability, repetition, and someone saying, no, that's not the trade. That's why mentorship matters. Not because I'm some guru, not because you need signals, because that ain't what we do here, but because structure accelerates growth. Feedback shortens the learning curve. Accountability kills bad habits early. Community normalizes discipline. Trial and error alone can take years. With guidance, it compresses. And if you're not ready for a mentorship yet, cool. Big deal, right? I get it. Start with the free courses on our website. We're not course sellers here. They're free. Start with the framework. Strip your chart down. Trade one setup. Take every trade. Hold yourself accountable. And that's tough to do, man. I'm just being honest with you. I've seen it. I've been doing this I've been in this business a long time, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm here to tell you, 9 out of 10 traders cannot hold themselves accountable. But stop pretending more videos or more this or more that's the answer, because you don't need more. You don't need more content, more strategies, more indicators. You need commitment. You need structure. You need to decide whether you're just dabbling or whether you're really in the trenches and you're just grinding it out training. Because if you're serious, there's a different level available to you in this. There's a different level here. You can ascend, and it's not hidden behind some secret indicator. It's hidden behind discipline and someone pulling that disciplined trader out of you.